Go start early and make sure this works. I'm gonna have you check testing stuff for me, okay? It'll take a second. Do 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 do. Yep. Okay, it's starting. Okay, now I'm opening this. Yes. Because this is an ARG. Give it a minute and then tell me if you see or hear
pracy. Co
anything.
tam?
A witam pana inspektora. A co tutaj? A to ja zaraz pokażę. No, Maciuś, przywitaj się z
It
panem
should have started
inspektorem.
by now.
No, to tak. Dzisiaj jest 6 czerwca, nie?
He-
To gdzieś pod koniec maja ktoś tutaj podobno widział, że może ktoś komuś jakąś krzywdę zrobił czy coś. I ktoś na górze sobie wymyślił, że my mamy dojść o co chodzi, nie?
But not the
No to
game.
dochodzimy. Tydzień minął. Była akurat wolna ekipa z psem, to przyjechał ten wysoki Wojtek z psem, Kubą.
It's pretty loud.
To
You
ten
should
Kuba
be able
najpierw
to
full
hear
pro
it.
pobiegał,
Right. Okay, you can hear it, but you can't see it. Okay. Okay, you can hear it, you cannot see it. I will turn that sound way up and mine down a bit more. Let's try this again. Why is it not showing? Okay, actually, hang on. You'll hear it in a second. Tell me about the volume. Capture. Foreground. Okay, that's good, but you can't see it, and that's the problem. We have to figure out why it's not showing. I turned myself down and it up. Tell me if it... I'm not seeing anything. Okay. I know, but I'm so confused. Let's see. Display capture. Let's do a display capture and see if that works. That's why I'm starting this a little early so we can troubleshoot. Because this game is really weird, and I think it's not I think the system doesn't recognize it as a game. In the grass. Okay. Yes. Already in use. Display. There, I'll call it display, and now it'll work. Yes, set to capture my monitor. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. Now it should show something very different in a minute here. Now it's saying it's showing something. Yeah, see? Isn't that fun that it does that weird thing? All right, now it should be working. Now it should show. Yeah.
Cześć
Inspector.
pracy. Co tam?
A
I'm
witam
not even
pana
gonna try and
inspektora.
pronounce that.
A co tutaj?
Howdy,
A to ja
Inspector.
zaraz
Let me show
pokażę.
you around.
No, Maciuś, przywitaj się z panem inspektorem.
Maciuś,
No, to tak. Dzisiaj jest 6 czerwca, nie?
June
To gdzieś pod
6th.
koniec maja ktoś tutaj podobno widział, że może ktoś komuś jakąś krzywdę zrobił czy coś.
Ah,
I
it's
ktoś na górze
working.
sobie
All right.
wymyślił, że my mamy dojść o co chodzi, nie?
Grass ordered us to
No to
investigate. It
dochodzimy.
looked like somebody was
Tydzień
hurting
minął.
somebody. We're investigating.
Była
It's
akurat
been a
wolna
week.
ekipa z psem, to przyjechał ten wysoki Wojtek z psem, Kubą.
Huh?
To ten Kuba najpierw full pro pobiegał,
You're good. I just need you
powąchał,
to
a
make
potem
sure the sound
ziewnął,
balance
obszał
is good.
tutaj ten wiadukt,
The
uwalił
dog
się jajkami
peed
do
on
góry,
dirt
żeby go po
bridge.
brzuchu podrapać. Tam zaraz po tamtej
That's
stronie
so unprofessional.
jest przystanek autobusowy. Tutaj codziennie setka ludzi chodzi na skróty do
Dozens
domów.
of people walk past this spot
3
every
dni
day.
temu padało całą noc. Wczoraj
Okay.
padało. To
You cannot hear me at all. Okay. There we go. We'll swap that out. There we go. I am much louder now. All right, let's go. It is about time. There we go. Boop, 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 boop.
Cześć
Szczebry.
pracy. Co tam?
A
Szczebrzy.
witam pana inspektora. A co tutaj? A to ja zaraz pokażę.
I'm the inspector and he's FaceTiming me
Maciuś,
apparently.
przywitaj się z panem inspektorem. No, to tak. Dziś jest 6 czerwca, nie? To gdzieś pod koniec maja
This
ktoś
is
tutaj podobno
Polish,
widział, że może ktoś komuś jakąś
based on the
krzywdę
setup.
zrobił czy coś. I ktoś na górze sobie wymyślił, że my mamy dojść, o co chodzi, nie? No to
Here we go. You can
dochodzimy.
hear me louder than the
Widzimy
game
to.
now, right?
Była akurat wolna ekipa z psem, to przyjechał ten wysoki Wojtek
Yeah,
z
I should
psem,
be louder
Kuba.
than the game now.
To ten Kuba najpierw full pro pobiegał,
Sniffed around like a
powąchał,
pro
potem
and then
ziewnął,
peed on the
obciął ten
bridge.
wiadukt, uwalił się jajkami do góry, żeby go po brzuchu
Yep.
podrapać. Tam zaraz po tamtej
Here we
stronie
go. Bus stop on the
jest
other
przystanek
side.
autobusowy. Tutaj codziennie
Dozens of
setka
people
ludzi
walk
chodzi na
past this
skróty
spot
do
every
domu.
day.
3 dni temu padało całą noc.
Oh no,
Wczoraj
it's rained a
padało.
lot
To co on miał
recently, so
znaleźć?
how is
Co
the
on
dog
mógł
supposed to
wywąchać?
pick up the scent?
Tyle, że się
Unless,
przewietrzył.
at least he
Tutaj
had a good
wietrzymy,
time.
tutaj ustalić coś
We're
mądrego
having
to
a good
jest
time
trudno.
too. It's hard to make
Ale
anything
dobre
out,
miejsce
but
jest
it's a
na
nice
relaks.
spot to hang out.
Tubylcy wiedzą.
And the locals
Tam
like it
leży
here.
paczka po
Yeah, this is
chipsach,
definitely
jakaś
not an
butelka po piwie,
in-use
nie? Tam gdzieś dalej jakąś
crisps.
prezerwatywę po ruchaniu widziałem, nie? Maciuś znalazł jakiegoś pendrive'a, to może być jedyna rzecz,
Maciu's
jaka
found a
stoi na
USB
miejscu.
stick in the grass, and
Jak
we're gonna
zdejmę
check it out.
odciski, to wyślę chłopakom do komputerowego. I tyle.
Oh, this is so cool to listen to with headphones in because it's dynamic. Oh, this is ooh. Navigate the newly attached drive to investigate. Oh my goodness, what? This is the new drive that is open right here. This is a cool game because this is an ARG. So you have to give it special permissions. You can switch the language to Polish because this was originally made in Polish. Right blocker prototype were drusiarz. I will butcher all the Polish. Oh, I don't have passwords for these zip drives. Okay. Okay. Let's look at other empty books. Books. Lord Jim Moby. Oh. Sure, let's open it with Word. Oh, okay. That is Oh, crap. That's not helpful. I can't open that with Word. It's a Moby file. Also, it's in Polish. So, books, there's an EPUB. Let's see if Notepad will open it. Nope. Same problem. Okay, these are Moby files. Back. Dear Diary. 2018. 5. Oh, okay. Dear May 1st, 2018, Tuesday. Dear Diary, I decided to write in English so that it doesn't get rusty, even if this means repeating my own mistakes. It's not the best idea to start May with the death of your laptop, is it? I turned ASUS on in the morning. The hard drive made a strange noise. The login screen appeared, and then bam, the blue screen of death. And now it's just dark when I turn it on, and it won't even let me load the defaults. This is bad. I hate typing on my PC keyboard and my old ThinkPad. A has Windows XP. B has no battery, so I depend on the nearest electrical socket. And C, which is the worst, has no Wi-Fi connection. I've lost the USB adapter somewhere, so I can't go online, which means no internet and no access to the PC hard drive. I don't even have an Ethernet cable to connect it to the LAN adapter. I guess I'll be using an extension cord to write in bed, and I'll be storing my diary on a USB stick so that I can access it wherever I want. There's a good side to that. I was actually planning to start writing my diary by months, so the fact that this screw up, because I'm not swearing, happened today is quite convenient. I'll just start a new file. The heat and sun were brutal in the morning, then it grew humid, but I still managed to spend half a day in the garden, mowing the lawn, raking, and weeding. I don't plant anything new. I only tend to the plants left by Mom as a small tribute to her memory. She liked gardening very much. I remember she enjoyed working in the garden to showing everyone where she planted what and why in that spot exactly. But I've never had the heart for it. I see it as my duty now that she's gone. I have no idea what the neighbors' kids were playing, but they were running up and down the street with their faces painted white, making a lot of noise. My phone buzzed. Why did my phone buzz? Oh. Ignore. Yes, I know I'm streaming. Thank you. It notified me that I am streaming. I guess it's time I stopped putting off going through my grandparents' stuff and documents. I wanted to do it for 2 years now, but I was afraid I would start crying when I found the old photos from the summer holidays in Zelizna. But I can feel something's changed. I'm not afraid anymore. If I cry, I'll cry. It won't be the first or the last time. It's the next stage of grief, I suppose, but I have no psychologist on hand to confirm that. Today is Dad's birthday. In September, it'll be 3 years since he passed away. I went to Var- Varvris Vavris Varzizhu Cemetery. I know the W is pronounced like a V, and the SZ is a Z kind of a sound. I'm not, I told you I'm going to butcher most of this, but I know the W is a V. Vavrzyzhu Cemetery. Vavr Cemetery. To light a candle for him, and then I went for a stroll past our old flat. When I looked at the windows, I felt a wave of nostalgia sweep over me. Maybe I should visit Mom's grave in Gorzau someday? I haven't been there for 20 years or so. See, Gorzau is easy to read. I haven't been there for 20 years or so. And Karol? I wonder what's going on with him these days. I still haven't made any plans for the summer holidays, and if I'm to go somewhere, I can read, I promise. In September or October, I should start looking for deals now. I've saved PLN 7K, and that's almost $2,000. And I can spend it all if I want to. I went to the kitchen to make myself some supper, and I stepped in the middle of an argument. The girls didn't go away for the long weekend. Both of them were working. Beta accused Aga of stealing her mug, because if the mug is nowhere to be found, it means it was stolen, right? It's always Beta versus the world. Meanwhile, the mug was just standing there in the cupboard, on our common shelf. I think I must have put it there myself when I was doing the dishes after breakfast, but didn't say anything. Let's see how long this is. The 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th. We're going to have to go through all of this. 14th. Let's see how far down it goes. Is this the entire month? Okay, it only makes it to the 27th. So let's read the 27th one. I'll have to go over this later because oh my goodness.
Looks like it's roughly Vavzazef.
Vavzhev.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Vavzhev.
Okay.
Okay, it's in Warsaw. Warsaw. I don't know if you pronounce the second W like a V or if it's originally Warsaw. So this is in Warsaw. Okay, splitting headache in the morning. Somehow I managed to get out of bed. Maybe I'll have a bike ride in the afternoon. At least that's what I told Aga when she asked me if I was going to be home the whole day. There was a loud scene around noon at the neighbors living on the other side of the ditch. They somehow kept to themselves for some time now, but today it was like the field in which they were growing their Fs exploded. The line I liked the most was the man's, "I effing bought you drugs and you didn't even make a freaking soup for me." Yep, no specifics, no pot, no coke. He said drugs. The woman kept relatively quiet. Usually I would hear her through closed windows. Maybe she was intoxicated after all? I remembered the smell of pot from Thursday, which is a very distinctive smell, but I think it came from our side of the ditch. Children were playing with a beach ball on the street. It popped, and now they were pretending to throw it, waving their arms slowly wide open and closing them to catch it. Lilacs are long gone. Now it's time for jasmine. I can smell it all around the house. I saw a sail swallowtail. They used to be a rare view in Poland. I remember being proud of myself when I took a photo of one back in 2011 in southern Croatia. And in the last 2 to 3 years, I've seen them here as well. Too bad this one had only one hind wing. It's kind of neat because we've watched a YouTuber who lives in Croatia. He deals with spiders. A stupid thought. During one of Isa's dad's birthday parties, someone explained what a Heisenberg's train is. You know its exact speed, but you don't know if it's positioned on the tracks. Heisenberg's beta. Is she there or isn't she? Here or maybe there? Maybe this whole reset thing was a stupid idea. Aga asked me if I could pick up something for her from Marivilska, from Beta's Vietnamese girl, while I'm on the bike. Sure, I can go there. I suppose it's as good a direction as any other. The law of seriality. I haven't been at the railway bridge for 2 years, and now I will be there for the second time this month. I just have to climb up the staircase with the bike. It'll be like cross-country biking. Okay, so this is definitely one of the people involved based on that last entry. And the second time he's been to this bridge where this all takes place. Again, we're going to have to go over all of that. File 1. Oh, what's this? Oh, passwords. Crap. Okay. So the only thing we really have access to. Oh, there's pictures. There's pictures. There we go. I will full screen that a little better. Gorgeous lilacs. Look at these beautiful lilacs. Oh, I imagine they smell amazing. I love lilacs. I don't know who these two are because they're not named. They're just numbered. And I have a lot of pictures like that myself, but oh, that's pretty. That's also kind of worn in the middle. So this is definitely not new. This is going to be one of the girls that he mentioned. This could be him. We don't know. Oh, look at this kitty! Oh, this looks like such a happy tabby in a shady sunbeam. Oh, okay, that's neat. I don't know what all of this is. There's some kind of Falun something W police. 13 Maja Svieto Obo. Is that Falun Gong? That's Chinese. This is the Falun Gong. What the heck, y'all? Why is the Falun Gong in Poland? That's weird. They're yellow, right, Nick? Falun Gong does lots with yellow. Yeah, it's the Falun Gong. Just randomly downtown Poland. Oh, what are these? Okay, these are neat. Asians and there's a couple of dudes that are not Asian. That guy, probably not, but maybe. These guys are definitely Asian. Probably either Chinese. Well, they could be Chinese, they could be Vietnamese. Because he mentioned not Itza, Beta's Vietnamese girl. So this could be where that Vietnamese girl came from, but these could also be Chinese dudes dealing with that Falun Gong stuff. If you do not know about the Falun Gong, I feel like we're gonna get to know some more about the Falun Gong. Oh, this is pretty. I don't know what these are. Oh, that might be some kind of no, the stick doesn't work well.
Oh, maybe.
No, you're not way behind. Oh, you are a little behind. There we go. My husband's like, where am I? That's pretty little bitty oh, those wheat things. We have those here too. I guess that's a worldwide weed, that little wheat looking thing. I used to call them tickly grass. Oh, you can see the cotton puffs down there. That really narrows down when these are taken. Oh, look at how pretty are those those might be really pale forget-me-nots or something related to them. Oh, gorgeous. Oh, that's a little trail. That could be relevant. We're going to want to keep an eye on that. The train tracks. Look at this. Train tracks. But this doesn't look like the same bridge. This does not look. Oh, there we go. It is the same bridge. It's just the other. I don't know why it's going bright and then darkening suddenly. What are you looking for?
Some.
Do you want me to call it?
I think you're in the middle of something.
I am in the middle of something. My husband has misplaced his phone. We do that a lot. But this is the bridge. So he took a picture of that end, and then he took a picture of this end, both facing the same direction. So, oh my goodness, look at that grumpy little bird. Poof, poof. Success. Found the phone. Look at this happy, grumpy little bird. He's so fluffy. Oh, yeah, he looks like his wing has been clipped there almost. I don't know if that's normal or not. Maybe this is a baby that fell out of the nest. Oh, it is a baby. Look at that. That's not an adult. Oh, yeah. Look at that. No, he's still got his feathers right here. So it's just the way the wing is designed. Yeah, look at this grumpy little bird. Look at that. That's so weird. Oh, that's the swallowtail he was talking about. Was the butterfly. Swallowtail butterfly is missing one of its hind wings. But it still seems to be doing good, which is unusual. I bet you anything that another butterfly took off his tail. Because butterflies are not sweet. They're such jerks to each other. They will chase each other. It's either a male chasing a female for mating purposes or a male chasing another male to kill him. And they don't fight very well, so they rip each other's wings up. Also, they love to eat carcasses. Okay, so that's all of the pictures. That's the swallowtail he mentioned. Okay, so this is all of the pictures. So this is all that we can access. So we have to go through a lot more diary. Okay, essence of a miracle is its miraculousness. Is that even a real word? I was wiping the green mug after breakfast. Slipped from my hand. I dropped it on the floor. It bounced several times, but it did not break. No cracks, no nothing, which is good because it's a souvenir from my first trip to Venice. He's been to Venice. Okay. It would be a huge loss. I had my Asus checked. They told me the hard drive was okay. Luckily, there's nothing important on it apart from the diary of the last 2 weeks. I've been making. Oh. I've been making. I lost my place. Regular backups since the major F up. But they couldn't tell the cause of the failure on the spot, so I had to leave it there. I have the feeling I'm going to be taking notes for this thing.
This doesn't seem like a very streaming friendly game.
It does not. Let's see. Plant identification reference guide. That is awful, love. Really? You got to do that while I'm streaming? That smells terrible. It's not getting better. How dare you? Excuse me, guys, while I die over here. Somebody argued about toothpaste. He spent 3 hours on Duolingo. Oh, it's Beta. Who is Beta? What's this 20? Oh, that's something important. The others don't have that. What is this? 2938. Excuse you. I'm writing it down on my physical notepad. 29, 38 paren. Quote. I want to say it's 29 feet, 38 inches, but that's weird. It's not true that all rules should be broken. The fundamental one saying you shouldn't touch crap because it stinks backfired today, like Pepsi and Mentos. It's funny that in the US it's Diet Coke and Mentos, but in Poland it is Pepsi and Mentos. Long time ago, I put the boxes with my grandparents' stuff on the high rack in the garage. I don't remember how I got them there. Someone must have helped me. Now, I couldn't get them up there myself, so I went to ask my older neighbor, Danusia, if they would lend me their ladder. Once I was up the ladder and took the boxes with the photos and letters down, I decided to check the contents of the remaining boxes. Put on the rack long time ago by my dad. It turned out to be Pandora's box. There were loads of bags with old stuff. They must have been sitting there since my parents moved in almost 20 years ago. Found some old hide rugs, lace works, shirts, tablecloths, wool table runners. Old apartment at Neruda Street. My mom's old fox fur scarf for gloves. A total mess of it. They were once packed clean and tidy, but clothing moths found a way. There's non-clothing moths. found a way inside, and now everything was crumbled to dust and ashes at the touch. So what I thought would take a few minutes of my time took me half a day of tidying up. Just as I was about to finish it, it turned out there was some glass in the bag at the back of the rack. And I was taking it down, the bag ripped, and there was broken glass all over the floor. Mrs. Meow cut her paw. Oh, is that the kitty in the picture? Mrs. Meow cut her paw because she couldn't miss the opportunity to visit the opened garage, and then I cut my foot because why the F not? And now I can't even return the letter because Danusi and her husband aren't home. I checked 3 times. So hot and humid today. Thank goodness it's still not that warm in the house. Still chilly in the north-facing rooms. It must be as hot as hell in Aga's room. Aga invited some guy over. The moment I heard his voice, I thought I was hearing Grandpa. It was so similar. As Aga went to the kitchen to make some tea, I came in to remind her that we agreed she'd inform me in advance about wanting to invite guys over. She started laughing, said it was nothing of the kind because he was her cousin. I guess she's telling the truth. You guess, huh? That doesn't mean much. When he came to the kitchen and the 3 of us talked after a bit, it seemed like they've known each other well and there was no sexual energy between them. Beta came to the kitchen to say hi, but suddenly her face went as white as death. She made a U-turn and left. Okay, so who are Aga and Beta? I went to the theater with Itza and Pavel. Pavel. I know that's Pavel. This morning. I wanted to give them money for the ticket, but they told me they got it for free somewhere. I don't believe them. I'll have to throw a barbecue party and have them come over. Christina Janda turned Beryl's Notes from Exile into a monodrama. Okay, movie. It's supposed to be up at the emigration, or should I say eviction. Oh, really? Unbalanced. It was supposed to be about the emigration or eviction of Jews from Poland in 1968, but it looks like on the way someone decided that it wasn't enough. So they added some Holocaust themes to strengthen the message. And the message sure is strong, with footage of nationalist marches in Warsaw at the end. But for me, it just made the whole performance too pushy. Maybe it's how it should be. Maybe people should be hit on their heads with a hammer to see what is really going on. And there are things to be worried about. It's not good. I try not to follow politics. I just happen to come across some news in the papers. Okay. On the radio while I'm driving. That's good enough for me to feel things are moving in a dangerous direction. When the show was over, the Association of Jewish Veterans of World War II awarded Janda a medal commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. We left the theater, went to a coffee place, sat outside. By 11 p.m., I remember I had to wear a fleece jacket on July evenings last year. Now it was only May and I wasn't cold in a lightweight top. I keep assuming this is a guy, but this could be a girl, and I don't know. We don't know who this is. Reading Tuvim's biography, Frightened Blasphemer. Okay, this person is dealing with a lot of like war stuff, which feeling World War II. I don't know what wars have been in Poland since then. March of the Nationalists planned for yesterday was somehow blocked and didn't take place. That's probably a coincidence, but I see it as the light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, so this is ongoing stuff. Itza and Pavel gave me a lift home, so I was back in no time. X Confessions Volume 1 is the best. The next one's not so much. Okay, nice weather in the morning. Replanted potted flowers. There are 6 family photo albums. I flipped through them quickly. There are almost no photos from my grandparents' youth, but I guess it's understandable. Nobody had a camera in the village where grandma lived, and my great-grandparents' house in Ochota district was on fire twice. In September 1939, during the Warsaw Uprising. 1939, huh? So his great-grandparents and grandparents are from World War II. That's why. Okay. There are more photos from after the war, but a real surge starts in the 60s when my dad gets his own camera for Christmas. Photos of Grandpa's contractor trips overseas. I haven't seen any photos from Libya, but that's the only trip I remember from my childhood. Found photos from Zalizna, of course, and I cried, of course. How could I not? They were taken on a Sunday, maybe Saturday, because I remember my parents and Karol came to see us. They arrived in the morning and stayed till the evening. Tuesday night, Grandma yelled at me. On Wednesday morning, we were on our way to Warsaw. On Thursday night, Grandpa was dead. Oh, interesting. They arrived in the morning and stayed till the evening. Tuesday night, Grandma yelled. Wednesday morning, they were on their way to Warsaw. Thursday night, Grandpa was dead. Quite a 3 days in a life of a 12-year-old. That's really young. But although I cried over the photos, it didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. There are some blank spaces in 2 albums. Looks like some photos were removed. What happened? Did someone do something evil enough to be erased? I guess it could have been Grandma's doing. One time I saw her write down her contacts in a new notebook. She would skip some old friends if they deserved it, but she would keep on writing down the telephone number of her best friend Helena, with whom she came to Warsaw after the war, even though Helena left Poland in 1969 in the aftermath of the anti-Semitic movement. I called the computer repair people. The house stinks terribly because I cooked some pork kidneys. The charm of simplicity. I had them with buckwheat groats. Yum. I don't think I would eat kidney, thanks. I know what the kidney does. I don't think I could eat a kidney. Because I know its purpose. I finally saw Danusia through the window, took the ladder out of the garage, but I saw her talking to someone getting inside a car. I wanted to back out, but she almost dragged me to her backyard with that freaking ladder. Then she introduced me to the man, who I think his name is Jacek. Jacek? And I said, I've seen him around. I've seen him around. She smiled sadly, and the man suddenly huffed and drove off. When we were alone, Danusia told me that she has 2 older brothers, twins to be exact, who do not speak to each other, but both of them visit her regularly. The one I saw today supports the right, the PIS party. The other one is a leftist, although he cannot decide which party to support, Razem or SLD. Evening, I took dancing lessons for the advanced in age from the shelf and started reading it from a random page because it doesn't really matter where you start off. Pure gold. Ava's birthday is in a week. There are so many names in here. Oh my goodness. Okay, this person is very tight on money. Within 2 years, I've gone from somebody spending 6K a month to less. This is the USB stick found in the grass. That's funny this was recommended to you because this is an ARG that we are trying out. That's funny. I'm getting recommended now. I am not that big. Let's see. Bought some sauerkraut but had to throw it out. Don't buy sauerkraut. I mean, if you like sauerkraut, I don't. Beta came to talk to me. The guy Aga invited over the other day tried to... Oh, that's why Beta says the guy that Aga invited over tried to assault her last fall. Beta got a gym pass as a gift, went to the gym. She came back frightened and scratched up. Okay, so we remember this story. She said someone was trying to pick her up and he started to follow her, even tried to undress her in some bushes. Uh-huh. She didn't want to talk to the police. Do you want to talk to Aga about it? Do you want me to talk to Aga about it? Okay, so Aga invited the guy over. The guy... Okay, so one of these twins tried to assault Beta, apparently. I have some problems downloading photos from my cell phone to the PC while downloading them to my obsolete laptop goes smoothly. But the stupid laptop won't download the photos from the camera. It keeps on crashing. I have to launch the task manager to kill the process. I could transfer the photos directly from a memory card, which is why I bought the adapter in the first place, but it's so inconvenient. There's no Wi-Fi, so I have to fiddle with the photos each time. What? I still have 2 copies left. What? Let's see. Downloading photos from the camera makes no sense. It's better to download them to the PC and then move the ones I need to the USB stick. There is only a couple of photos on this USB stick. Pick 5, 10, 13 photos. So this is going to be Miss Meow. I don't know if I can rename these or not, but this is Miss Meow. The train tracks, which is the most relevant to all of this. Now, these 2 pictures change from light to dark when I open them, which is unusual. I don't know why they do that, but not all of the photos do that, because look at this one. Oh, this one does it too. Oh, they all do it. That's weird. I wonder if it's a loading thing. Okay, let's see. What else is going on? Maybe this month will be nice to me. After all, Itza called to tell me that a job is looking for me. Oh, good. So this person needs a job. Um, cat jump scare. Isn't she cute though? She's adorable. Her name is Mrs. Meow, according to this diary that we're reading. Because meow. I'll leave her open, because why not? Oh, wait. Let's see. Negatives wants them all cleaned and scanned. I agreed to meet him too. Okay. Itza told me they're finishing work on a comic book drawn by Pavel's friend. Zukowski is involved in the process. They still haven't given me everything back. Okay, Zukowski's a guy. She joked that I'm the only person she knows who went off the grid and moved to the whatever mountains without actually leaving Warsaw. Technically, she was wrong. My parents' house is in Marki, not Warsaw. Laughed with her, but also cried a bit inside. And that moment, I realized the price I had to pay for that. It suddenly occurred to me that I arranged the old stuff, documents, photos, cleaning garden. All the things I didn't have time for before are actually just ersatz activities I come up with to feel like something is happening. I guess I don't have to stare into the abyss to lose your mind. It's sufficient to look at nothing long enough. Some evenings it gets to my mind. I keep busy not to feel the boredom. Okay, so they are going through serious depression. Screw it all, throw it all away just like that. Take the camera, 2 pairs of knickers, leave the house, get on a random train and go to the end of the world, somewhere near Nepal or Morocco. I don't care. Quick reality check. Who's going to feed Mrs. Meow? An attempt at adulting. I won't run away from myself. Gosh, I'm acting like a 12-year-old. Kids are so lucky. They can always run to mommy or at least curl up in a fetal position and suck their thumb. I mean, you can do that as an adult too. Went out with the trash, came across Danusia. She's watering the garden, chatted over the fence. She told me the whole story of her brothers. Danusia's the youngest. Okay. Oh, so it's Aga's cousin assaulted Beta. Excuse you. Stop that. Aga's cousin was Jasik. And then we have Danusia's twin brothers. So it wasn't the twins, it was Aga's cousin, not Danusia's brothers. They're both engineers. One's railway engineering, the other energy. They used to be inseparable, but they both applied at a technical university in the deep socialist mid-70s. They were accepted to different majors and parted ways. One of them became friends with the illegal political opposition as it existed at the time, Workers' Defense Committee or something like that. Whimsy and happiness. Let's see. Yes, this is all whimsy and happiness. Lots of war references. It's great. Both did it for the right. Okay, the Workers' Defense Committee or something like that. Very Catholic branch. The other one joined the Socialist Union of Polish Students. They both did it for the right cause. Both wanted to fight social injustice, but one of them wanted to do it from within the system and the other was sure that was impossible. I'm not 100% sure. It was just like I wrote it down, though, as Danusia's story was pretty chaotic. And then her husband came back and interrupted her, and the rest of the conversation was about cars and problems with cars. I can see Danusia is deeply moved by the whole situation. Remember Mom mentioning twins who weren't speaking to each other. She must have known their story because Danusia was a friend of hers. Okay. So Danusia is older than this person. Oh, look, there's more numbers. What's this? What's this? 34 and 38. Okay, this is something important. I don't know what yet. Didn't quite nail it today. My time was okay, but I could have been much better. Oh, jogging. Jogging goo. Yeah, this is going to be the most boring part of the ARG where we have to read through this entire diary.
Hopefully that's it.
Yeah. Janosch. Mr. Janosch. I know that's Janosch because there is a Janosch in Ghostbusters too. Illegal! Just painting the fence, which is part of his duties on our housing estate, and he was attempting to talk to anyone who passed him by, which is part of his daily routine. Oh, he's limping. These buttholes' car hit him, but he will show them where they belong. Okay, Janosch is a little suspect. Doesn't know by them. We will show them where they belong. We. Huh. Mr. Janosch must have looked like Jerzy Knota when he was young. Short, skinny, dark-haired like a gypsy. His Hungarian-sounding name would fit the description, but when I asked him about it, he snorted like he's 100% Pole. I honestly don't know. A lot of these names sound similar to me because I'm not familiar with a lot of these cultures and languages. Lilacs. Oh, there we go. Lilacs are starting to shed blossom, although they still smell like crazy. I checked the old photos 2 years ago on May 16th. They looked fresher than today, which is 10 days earlier. April was very warm this year. It's probably because of that. Taking the USB stick out every time I put the laptop in sleep mode makes no sense. I guess it's an old habit I developed back in the day when I was carrying my projects on the stick. Well, not on this one, between the office and home. I called the computer repair people again. It's not worth repairing my laptop and I should get a new one. That's a pickle because my budget doesn't allow for such an extravagance. The Ministry of Lack of Finance says girls pay a total of $1,400 of rent, while water, electricity, and other G&A expenses amount to 900 PLN. So that leaves me with about 500, which I save for taxes and heating. Fotolia and Shutterstock pay about 1,200, so 400 monthly. So I use that money to pay my social insurance and accounting fees. AdSense on my website generates about 1,200. Okay, so this person has some passive income. Usually have enough money to survive a month without risking being hungry. I have a large stash of money I won't touch and a smaller stash of money, 7K in PLN, but that's supposed to pay for my holiday, so I won't touch it as well. Then there's Terra Incognita, Hick Sunt Jobs. Last month was tough, but in March I managed to do some commissioned work. I earned 5K of take-home pay and managed to add something to my portfolio. Maybe that scanning job would do it? A low fuel indicator lighted up as I was on my way from the supermarket. Oh no! So desperate need of money. Bird crapped all over the brass house numbers. I cleaned it up. Okay, number 3 is a bit loose. Number 9 is fixed as it should be. Okay, 3 and 9. Aga's friend was here again, caught them in the kitchen. His name is Arek. One word led to another, and soon I found out he works as a gym instructor. Does he work in the gym Beta told me about? No, but I know the place. Aha, that's right, Aga's friend, Arek. Arek. The twin's name is Jasik. This is Arek. So Jasik or Jasik? It's probably Jasik. Yeah, Arek. Something off about this guy. One moment he's funny, the other he's starting to scare me. I remember his type from my childhood holidays in Zalizna. There'd be these village Romeos styled after Burt Reynolds checking us out, and Arek reminds me of them. The difference is he's less of a macho and more of a hipster with his hair gels, his skinny jeans, and an iPhone in his back pocket. He would constantly wave his phone about so that I would notice it. Finally, I grew tired of waiting for him to drop it on the floor, so I politely asked him about it. Oh, it's an iPhone special edition, he said, emphasizing the special part. It's special. Like you are, sir. He's really good looking, actually, but he works out, so I guess he's quite attractive, but at the same time, there's something wrong about him. So Arek is definitely suspicious. Aga told me she found a new job. Based on the description, I assume she'll be working somewhere around whatever that is that I cannot pronounce. She starts in a week. She told me in secret that Arek is dyslexic and has great problems with spelling, so when they asked him to prepare training plans at the gym, he asked her for help. Today was boring and empty, so I went jogging again, but I did poorly. Oh, these are the jogging times. Okay. Excuse you, stop that. Okay, so these are jogging times. 35:56. 35 minutes, 56 seconds. Okay. I took a random crime story from Dad's shelf. I've never heard about Inspector Vollander, but I must say it reads quite well. Scum of a cat, Mrs. Meow, peed on the blanket covering the armchair. Met Itza's acquaintance today. His name is Masiek. Didn't get his last name. He's about our age, quite handsome, and seems okay. The job is nothing like Itza described it to me. The bad news is he wants me to scan only one album for now. It's a vintage paper photo album with 1,000 negatives, and it might be really hard to clean because the paper is from the PRL times, and there's a lot of paper dust. The good news is the archive itself is enormous with tens of thousands of negatives, mostly 35 millimeter and 6x6. You're looking at me. Hi, love. My husband just looks around and stares at me. I'm like, what? What'd I do? They've got budget for the whole job and want to do it. I guess it's better for me to scan this album now than to have no work at all. Still not quite clear to me who took these photos. I know it was Masiek's uncle of sorts. Okay. Masiek is also a little suspicious. So Arek and Masiek and the twins are the weird people that have been introduced so far. Kirby dance. You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. Because your friends don't dance, and if you don't dance, then they're no friend. That sounds like a gym song. I bet you this person is listening to that at the gym. Let's see. Yep. See, I'm reminded that not being on Facebook makes it really difficult to get in touch with people. Yeah. I'm thinking about signing up again. This is in 2018. Man, I should get back on Facebook. Facebook's not that great, but it is great for keeping in touch with people. Unless they also leave Facebook, in which case you have to get things like Tumblr to keep track of people. Or maybe you have to, well, unless you're willing to go to Blue Sky or Twitter, but I'm not really a fan of either one. Problem is that a job from 1,000 negatives will not buy me a decent laptop. I need at least 2K to get a machine with sufficient processing power. Walking in the meadow. The spot where model plane builders fly their planes, I found a wooden propeller. It was really big, over 50 centimeters in diameter. It must have hit something because there's a deep scratch on its side, but it looks quite rad. I have no idea why I took it and brought it home with me. I left it on the desk, and now I don't know what to do with it. It's cool, but completely useless. Going through family photo albums, I came across 3 photos signed Hanoi 1959. Grandpa is not in those photos, but I recognize his younger coworker. I used to see him a lot at my grandparents'. And then I learned he was actually Itza's cousin. I'll email these to her. She needs to see them. Okay, so that is these 3 photos here. So this is Vietnamese. So Itza's relative. So Itza has Vietnamese family. And USB owner's grandpa may have been the one taking the pictures. So that's what these 3 photos are. We still have not talked about the random Falun Gong thing going on here, though. I want to know about the Falun Gong thing. Thanks for keeping me in bed by noon, Aunt Flo. Oh, no. Okay, so this is a woman. I was starting to wonder because 2 female roommates that are not related. Okay, so it's a woman that's writing this, and this proves it because Aunt Flo, Mrs. Meow puked on the desk and somehow missed the negatives. Thank goodness. Yeah, that would be a disaster. Do not throw up on the negatives. Cat puke on photos is the worst. I know because I grew up with cats. Dusting, but the photos turned out quite good. So the job's not that dirty after all. I started with 35 millimeter negatives. All places are described, and I know some of them. Just Yastarnia, for example, but my memories are blurry or it looks differently at the time I was there. Photos were taken about 1970, I can tell by the clothes. Most of them are candid shots, a boy with a lady, the boy without the lady without her top on the dunes. It must have been around the time of the first Venus exhibition. But there are also many professional press and street photos, some taken next to the Funfair shooting range, a regular summer holiday at the seaside back in the day. Sent some samples to Masiek. Sometimes it's good to have some luck. Finally got my butt to Ursinov. to see Zukowski and pick up my books and albums he promised me, but kept on stringing me along for months. He was showing some clients around the company, so he wanted to look good in their eyes, but he was super nice to me. In less than 5 minutes, I had everything I needed from him. He clearly wanted me to scram. He's a one sleazy guy. So Zukowski is kind of sleazy too. Zukowski, I'm gonna write down. Zukowski is kind of sleazy. Noticed an older man on the subway and on the bus several times. It reminded me when some guy in high school would stalk. Oh, bus guy. Who's bus guy? There's so many suspects. I'm pretty sure the woman writing this diary is involved in the incident because we read The Last Day already. I noticed an older man on the subway stalking, and as I was passing through Ursanava, I heard Sinead O'Connor singing "Nothing Compares to You" from one of the blocks. Made me long for those times and those people. Razina and Wojciech invited me to visit them on Sunday. They've just gotten back from Thailand, so they might share some useful tips on my holiday plans. It's Tits Day. A few pairs in the negatives, and now in the birdhouse my dad hung in the backyard. Haha. Oh, tits, the birds. I'm like, Tits Day? Birds. This year it's blue tit, and judging by the commotion, there are a lot of chicks. I suppose it was supposed to be stormy. Dark clouds came for the third time today. Had to turn on the lights, and it's only 7:30, but not a single drop fell from the sky. I heard some distant rumbling just now. Soil is dry. Some rain would be greatly appreciated. Itza sent me a copy of Tales of the Bazaar by Olga Tatarczuk. Makes me a bit ashamed that she looks after me like a mother and I don't know how to thank her. Okay. May 10th, Thursday, 2923. Special circumstances embodied by 2 10-year-olds blocking the footbridge forced me to change my usual jogging route. I ran a CW circuit instead of the usual CCW. They were gone by the time I got back to the footbridge. What was left of them was the writing on the concrete plate, "Rip Youth and Innocence." I spent half a day scanning. I'd rather not be a good listener. Maybe then people wouldn't dump their problems on me. I called our ex-neighbor Tosia because today is her name day. Name day? She told me about her grandson. When he was born, his mother Kashka lived with Tosia. So I used to see her with a pram almost every day. Then she moved out, but I kept on meeting them quite often. Razemek will be 29 in early June, and they're worried about him. He used to be a cool kid, a bit goofy, but never bored. Had 1,000 ideas per minute. I remember my mom saying he had a lot of potential. By the end of high school, something happened, and they had to work to get him through the Matura exam. I don't know the details, though. I had my own problems back then, and I didn't want to be nosy. Then it looked like he was back on track. He went to university and even graduated with distinction, but it all started to crumble again in 2015. First, he would argue with his parents over them interfering in his life. He would spend his days lying on the bed, staring at the ceiling, and then telling everyone he had important visitors from the embassy. Aha. Who's this guy again? Prizemek. Okay. Let's see. This one time he disappeared for 2 days. Then he came back saying that he'd been to New York and talked to some very important people, but he didn't even hold a passport at the time. He put a lock on his bedroom door. He still lives at Casca's flat so that no one would bother him. And so it goes from one outburst to another. One time it was so bad they had to call an ambulance. The word psychiatrist apparently gets stuck in Tosia's throat. So she just mentioned some doctors from the hospital. She said Prizemek refuses treatment because he's perfectly all right and it's everyone else's fault he's feeling oppressed. His friends turned their back on him. He doesn't go out anymore because no one wants to talk to him. This just makes matters worse. He sees enemies everywhere and he's the only one to see the truth. He even managed to terrorize his family to an extent they can do nothing about the whole situation. He somehow holds them in his grasp. He hides newspapers, turns the TV off, and allows them to watch only what he deems true. Tosia cried when she told me how Casca is exhausted by it all. Still no rain. One thunder. When the girls came back from work, we sat in the kitchen. Aga bought herself a knitted wool wrap. I liked it very much, so I asked her to show it off, and I snapped a photo with my smartphone. Okay, that is this picture. So that is a brand new wool wrap, really? That's new? With that gap? It doesn't look new. So I guess this that we can't see is probably Aga. And this could either be our writer or Beta. We'll figure that out, I'm sure. Yeah, this is hard to understand. This is a diary found on a USB stick found in the grass. And this and the pictures are the only things we can access. We're looking for passwords so we can open these zip files. I want to open the zip files so badly. I do have, oh no, I have more than 3. Let's write down all of these. Excuse you! Stop doing that, mouse. Every time I drop my mouse, it glides to the side and is like, let's open stuff. Let's not, thanks. Yay. So 29 and 23 for the jog. I'm writing all those down because I feel like that's important. Okay. The photo sucks. I did it against the light, and Aga has a witch's nose. That is pretty funny, actually. Yeah, so this is definitely Aga. Aga has a witch's nose in the picture. She spent like, let's see. Oh, Beta is, okay, that was so this is Beta, and this is Aga. Okay, that makes sense. Excuse you. What the? Upload. No, no, thank you. Let's see. Beta had her nails done. She had them trimmed short and painted with a ridiculous color. Okay. She spent like 10 minutes or so explaining that cutting them short helps regenerate because the other girl who did her nails, when her favorite Vietnamese girl had a day off, used something that ruined her nails. So now she needs to have them painted with this awful polish. And they need to be so short, and the color is important too if they are to regenerate. So it has to be regenerating. The color, I mean. Oof. And compared to the lecture she gave us on the advantages of hybrid manicure over artificial nails, or the quite the opposite today, this talk was really short, and also talking a lot about her mom being sick, how she needed to go home and check up on her. That's so Beta, producing a stream of consciousness on something completely irrelevant, but failing to answer 3 short questions about her mom. 1, what's going on with her? 2, is it serious? And 3, how long will Beta be staying home with her mom? Take people's ears off. You mean talk people's ears off. I need to record her monologue sometime so that others can experience this incredible ride. She actually believes every word that comes out of her mouth and whatever she's heard from someone who sounded convincing enough. And in 2 days, she comes up with another story in which she denies herself. She finally wrapped up by telling us to see her Vietnamese girl to have our nails done cheap at the Marivilska shopping mall. Literal cherry on top was her staining her favorite top in folk print with cherry juice. Okay. Oh, good. This one's short. This morning surprised me. It was already 20 degrees when I woke up, and it's not even mid-May. That's Celsius. Mrs. Meow knows how to interrupt my work. If I'm not busy, she keeps to herself outside the house. It only comes to eat something from time to time, but whenever I'm busy, she tries to be the best helper. And scanning negatives isn't easy with the cat desperately trying to fit on the desk. I clean the scanner all the time, and I still find traces of her fur in the scans. I've walked out with her 3 times, asked her to stay in the garden, but she stayed there only the 4th time I did that. And then I had a pretty good streak. I just made a quick break for making lunch and laundry. I sent the samples to Masiek. He likes them. Itza called and asked how I was doing. Beta's devastated that her favorite top didn't survive the vanish treatment. The drought goes on. Still no rain. I forgot to water the plants. Supposed to set the sprinkler, but got so caught up in my work that it's 10 p.m., so that's enough for today. Oh, good, this one's short too. Managed to get up with the chickens. It's Ava's birthday. We're celebrating tomorrow. I texted her birthday wishes. Scanning. Grandpa sure wrote a lot of letters. There's a thick
I
packet.
bet one of the passwords is Ava's birthday.
Let's see. Maybe. I mean, we can try it. Ava's birthday. Is no, her birthday is May 13th. It says her birthday is oh no, it is to the 12th. You're right. May 12th.
You gotta find out what year she was born.
I have no idea. It doesn't say how old Ava is.
Just the running joke.
Okay, let's see. Still scanning. Packet tied with a ribbon. What? Yes. You punching it out of a window. I love that. That's great. Yes, I will punch it. Cha! Defenestration. It goes out the window, and we don't have to see that nonsense again. Okay. Contractor trips. He must have been writing at least twice a week. He wrote about everything, what they're eating, what they're doing, what the work on the local engineers and workers looked like, how he hated the lazy buttholes at work. It's funny, in one letter from Egypt, he described a local dish in detail, some kind of bun with meat and vegetables. It must have looked very exotic to someone raised on pork chops with potatoes. Now we have doner kebab stalls on almost every corner. Yeah, doner kebab is everywhere. I've heard of it from several other locations in the US. This guy, Arek, visited Aga again. I heard Beta lock her bedroom door, and I don't blame her because Beta was assaulted by this guy. Arek is definitely on our list of suspects. For those who are late, the suspect list is because this whole game starts with a video from a phone call from the investigator to the inspector about, we found this USB stick in the grass. We're investigating this bridge where there was a call. Somebody saw someone else getting harmed on this bridge, and we don't know too much about it. So we brought in a police dog to investigate, and it rained, so the police dog did not really have anything to find, so he just peed on the bridge. I don't know why they're talking about the dog peeing on the bridge, but okay. So I suspect, based on the last entry being this writer going to that bridge, and there being photos of the bridge, which I can pull up right now, actually. This is the bridge in question. This is the bridge. So we know that this bridge is very important to the story because this is where the story takes place. Okay, Arek visited again. I went to see Grazina. She and Wojciech told me some stuff about Thailand. The end, we talked about how it's cheaper to live there than in Warsaw, especially far from large cities. Renting a room in Phuket, where they had lived for 3 months, would be surprisingly cheap. If I rented my whole house, I would have enough money to move there at no extra cost. Tempting idea. I know I can't hide from myself, but maybe a fresh start could help. Okay, a robust two-girl quarrel woke me up. Beta stormed out of the house before I got out of my room, and Aga just shrugged and suggested Beta had a screw loose, but she was clearly nervous. I know it was about Arek, but I don't know the details. Yeah. Aga keeps bringing this guy over because he's a cousin, but she now knows that something happened between him and Beta has issues with the guy, but she's still doing it. This is like a Reddit story, guys. Grandpa's letters are boring, yep, but they're interesting at first. Starts off with introducing people he met, then something about local food and culture, and then just writing, but it's completely uninteresting stuff. I would pen down my entire day in my diary to the smallest detail, who I talked to, what I ate. I paid $3.20 for bread, $2.90 for half a kilo of tomatoes. One had a spot on it. Came back to it a few months later. It was unreadable. Grandpa's letters are just like that. See, I have written in my diary like that before. I don't write like at all now, though, because I'm lazy. Arranged them chronologically, and it turned out there are no letters from his Libya contractor trip. There are thick packets from Vietnam, Pakistan, Egypt, and Iraq. And I previously noted there are no photos from Libya, and now it looks like the whole trip is sort of a black hole. There should be a really massive packet of letters from Libya, maybe even 2 of them, and there is not a single letter. Okay, so missing Libya trip records. Missing Libya records. That's going to be relevant eventually. Carol recently. I wonder if Carol is her brother. See, from the early 90s, he's never sent a letter to us, but it turns out he wrote to Grandma. In both letters, he asked her not to tell us he did. Both letters were sent from Germany, the first from Hamburg, the other from Munich. I can't make out a lot of them, though. He also didn't give his address. Besides, what use would I have of an address from 25 years back? So it looks like he didn't expect a reply. The letters are very casual. I'm okay. I have a job. I'm learning German. As if he missed us but was too ashamed to admit it. I've never understood why he cut ties with us after he had left. I'm sure it wasn't because parents didn't like the idea. The only explanation I can find, apart from the worst, knock on wood, is that he somehow failed to make it there and was too embarrassed to come back and admit his failure. It would be so like him. I wonder if he knows parents are dead. When the bridge in question. Wah. I went to the old town by bus to avoid buying gas. Left earlier just in case. I was there half an hour before time. There were some Falun Dafa people. Yeah, Falun Dafa is what it says, but I'm pretty sure this is the Falun Gong. They're
You worry about it when it comes out.
what, a cult?
Yeah, something.
They're kind of a Chinese cult religion-ish. They're a wellness cult from China.
Yeah.
They put on, if you've ever seen ads for the Shenyun Ballet, that is run by the Falun Gong, who I think are connected to the Falun Dafa. But I wonder if Falun Dafa is like a different branch of the Falun Gong. Sigismund's column. So that's what I knew that was some kind of monument. These pictures are all out of order. Okay, so here is Sigismund's column, which is that monument there. And this is the Falun Dafa people with all of their Chinese weirdness.
Chinese used to harvest their weapons.
The Chinese used to harvest their organs?
Yeah, because their lifestyle things.
Oh, apparently, yeah. Apparently, according to my husband, who has actually done some research on the Falun Gong, the Chinese government used to harvest the organs of the Falun Gong people because of their lifestyle and their super healthiness.
Oh, also the dissidents.
Yeah, they're dissidents, so China's going to take out anybody that's dissident. I wonder if this nutcase Wojciech goes among them. Oh, so Wojciech is a nutcase. He used to work in our agency, and he was really into the Falun Dafa. Didn't see him, though. Obviously, there were tons of people around, so it was hard to take a decent photo with a smartphone. It's an amazing photo. What are you talking about? I met Ava and Dorota in the new town, same spot we met last time. We greeted Ava on the other side of 40. Ah, Ava is 40. Okay. So, Nick, come back. I need you to be yes, you do hear somebody in the background occasionally. That is my husband. He spends most of my streams in the room with me commenting. Yeah. We might set up the other microphone at some point so that he can comment with me on stuff, but that means playing on not my laptop, and I like playing on my laptop. Then we would have to play on the big computer, and that would be weird. All right. What is 2018 minus 40 years? They hear you. You're not sneaky.
Right. Supposed to be sneaky?
So, I don't know. Are you supposed to be sneaky? He doesn't want to get picked up on the stream. He's like, I don't want to mess up your stream. But then I'll talk to him, and it's funny if you only hear my side of it. But he's the one that knows about the Falun Gong, and he's the one that does math. So 2018 minus 40. That's okay. You can pull it up for me on a calculator. I am reading. But that's going to give us the year that Ava was born.
1978.
78. Okay. May 12th, 1978. I'm going to try that for one of these. Let's try it. All right. Let's see if it's going to be May 12th, 1978. No. How about this one? May 12th, 1978. No. And May 12th, 1978. Okay, so it's not in that format. It would be, let's see, in Poland, it would be, I want to say day, month, year. So 12, May is 05?
Yes.
January, February, March, April, May. So 12, I said 12, 12/05, 1978. No, 12/05, 1978. 12/05/1978. Okay, so Ava's birthday is not one of these.
It's not.
It's not the password for any of these. Okay. So now we know that is not the password for any of these things.
I mean, it's a meme. I think it's not his
It
birthday,
is.
so-
It is so common for people to use the birthdays of their loved ones as passwords and codes and stuff, but it's not this. Okay. Ordered sour rice soup. Why do we care? In a loaf of bread, but it sucked really bad. It tasted like instant soup. 'Cause it probably was. Ava was making attempts at matchmaking as usual. She told me about her nice single friends who wanted nothing more in life than to date me. She went on explaining that I wouldn't stand a chance to meet anyone if I didn't have a Facebook account. In the meantime, Dorota would roll her eyes and kick Ava on the leg under the table. Sometimes Ava drives me crazy with this stuff, but today it only made me laugh. It got even funnier when she switched to rant mode and started commenting on her problems with her husband and her lover. Why does she have a husband and a lover? Fascinating how she doesn't seem to notice the dissonance between you need a man and men are nothing but trouble. And her business trip story was like straight out of Leopold Tiermann's diary. We don't know who Leopold Tiermann is, but okay. Conversations made me realize the whole purpose we're reading through this is to find passwords for these zip drives. We need passwords, dang. I'm starting to wonder about these. You know, I'm just going to skim through from here and look for all of these because this is taking forever. And I'm going to use these as one of the passwords. 3516. Because there's a bunch of them. Oh, look, more stuff about Arek. Actually. Turns out he's not actually her cousin, but a common cousin of theirs brought him up. So, why is Aga bringing this guy over? This a cousin's cousin, Beta's lot. Let's see. Uh-huh. Should I look for another tenant? I don't know. That's weird. Knew nothing about it, then hurriedly finished the call. So her uncle knows something about the missing stuff from Libya. That's important. Mr. Manipulation is boss has asked her to explore the ground. Mr. Manipulation still fails to understand that my family problems weren't the only reason why I left. Ah ha ha ha. Masiek's uncle, an actual one as it turns out, used to work as a PAP reporter. 1984. He fled from Poland, but before he did that, he had secured and hidden his entire archive at a friend's place. The security service would look for these photos relentlessly. They even questioned his family about the photos, but the family didn't know anything. It had been disclosed only recently, and some of them were recovered. Okay. This is part of the safe and sentimental batch. So this this Masiek guy is definitely interesting. Okay. Let's see. Dorota lost her cell phone or someone stole it. She noticed it was missing, blocked the device, but by that time someone's already started pulling pranks. Someone punk sent a photo of a naked boob to all her Gmail contacts, signed a booby selfie. So now Dorota's calling everyone in Warsaw to explain what happened, and her husband's trying to take control over other apps she's been using and to see if any other pranks were pulled. The boob selfie's the first thing I opened in my mailbox today. Uh-huh. New puzzle. Wait, Beta. Whoever did this has a very limited imagination. Dora's boobs are a few sizes smaller. The point is, whoever in their right mind would use no security mechanism on their smartphone. Even Beta's phone is secured, although I've seen her unlock it once, and if I'm right, she uses one of the dumbest passwords there are.
Oh.
Beta's password we need to figure out then. So Beta's password is going to be like a birthday or something.
Or password.
It could be password 12345. Go commit the sleepy. Bye, friendo. Thanks for joining us. Let's see. A new puzzle. Who's this woman at Marta's place? Pack of letters from Paris sent by Yasya. 13th October. Okay, 1979. I hope Vilek gets out earlier. I'm really worried about his health. So Vilek would be in prison probably. $1979. Let's see. Released prematurely. Oh, this is her grandpa. Vilek is grandpa. Why is grandpa in prison? That's weird. Maybe that has something to do with why the Libya pictures are missing. Was released prematurely. Okay. Handwriting is quite underdeveloped with spelling mistakes. Please let me know through Joanna. Sincerely, Mieksislava Staviak. More like he was in prison than on a contract in Libya, and Mieksislava is certainly Miesia, the one who came to grandparents to clean and cook for them before more important parties. Years later, parents even asked her if she could take care of grandma, but Miesia lived in the outer suburbs, somewhere far behind Praga district, and she said transit would be problematic. And I think she was the woman I saw from behind the fence at Marta's party, and I could recall where I knew her from. Maybe I should go to Radzimin on the weekend to snoop around. So you're snooping. What is... Oh, I noticed something else. Only some of these are capitalized. So let's go through and get that done too. What ones are capitalized? Because only some of these entries are capitalized. So let's write down what is in caps. D I, or not caps, but in bold. Dig. Huh. Let's see.
I like how this game is teaching you how to socially engineer people.
Oh, really? It's teaching me how to socially engineer people?
Yep.
How is it teaching me how to socially engineer people?
Looking for someone's password, you going through the
Oh, that, yeah.
information.
I am solving a mystery, dang it.
And you can dox people on the way.
Let's dox people. This is a game. Let's see. Masiek's uncle. He was Masiek's mother's stepbrother. Huh. More photos with Masiek. Okay, he called, shared some more info. Turns out what Itza told me was only part of the story. Masiek says the archive contained photos from the first months of the martial law, some street riots and events related to Father Popielusko's funeral or death, photos of the security service officers. Okay, that's what the security service officers were after, was the Father Popielusko's funeral or death. Someone got arrested on the way, someone else got beaten. Masiek's uncle, who is his mother's stepbrother, so his step-uncle, first went into hiding, then managed to leave Poland somehow. Opposition to stories, but no, it's not that simple. It could have been about some inside affairs within the security service. His family, and I quote, is multidimensionally interesting, while some dimensions aren't to be proud of. And now that his uncle went delusional, he's convinced Poland is still run by communists. So before giving me more negatives to scan, he wanted to check me out first. Okay. Looks like it's enough scanning for now. Masiek apologized for his uncle's silence, but said that not much can be done about that. Uncle lives in Chicago, and his only source of news about Poland are other Polacks. According to Masiek, when it comes to anti-communist frenzy and the version of legendary Great Poland being constantly under siege from all sides, it's even worse in Chicago than in Greenpoint. His uncle is paranoid to the extent of being afraid that the security service is still dealing the cards there. Okay, because he's been gone for a while. So photos are cropped up somewhere so once the photos cropped up somewhere, they would intercept them. Just, okay. Masiek doesn't know the location of the remaining negatives. He had to follow a trail set up by his uncle. So Masiek's uncle is super sketch. This is detective fiction, Mr. Janosch. His boss lady married a Mr. Zwiebel with a C or Z, I'm not sure. Zwiebel. Zwiebel, yeah. He's definitely a German, but he better doesn't cheer because we won't let them roam around for long. Okay. His boss lady married a Mr. Zwiebel. His boss lady? Okay, talking to Aga. Beta called. She won't be back today. Tomorrow evening, she's going to Prushnik to see her mom. She would like me to get her makeup bag from her bedroom. I will meet her in the afternoon. It will be safe there because no one will see us. Okay, but it's... all of these books that you're reading, lady. Oh, let's see. Maestro. Excuse reliability, but it's extremely difficult to be calm, professional, produce an unbiased opinion while writing about things that can be seen and judged differently. By judging, I don't mean making attempts at justifying pedophilia. This is beyond any discussion because a pedophile is a pedophile. Yeah, you can't justify pedophilia. What I mean is this fine line between creating something good because the choir was very successful, that's beyond doubt, and doing something bad, manipulating people, strengthening one's position in opposition to others, and seeing them as enemies, and then building a support group around his vision. I don't know what this maestro is, but okay. Mr. Manipulation is an amateur. Okay. 2811 again. Another time. 2811. I feel like these times are going to be important. Light run. It's chilly. It rained last night. Went to see Andre to collect the camera lens. Okay, made lunch. Series of unfortunate events. Ah, on the tracks! On the tracks! Beta might be really suspicious too, actually. It was so high, I assumed the ground was flat, and it turned out it's actually very steep, plus it's quite a fall from there. So you're on the tracks. It's humid. Tracks used to pass over the street. I took some photos. Okay. Couldn't fit the entire bridge. Plus, the only photo I took is blurry and distorted. It's so embarrassing. I'll have to set time in the camera because it got messed up. So Beta didn't show up at the agreed spot. Beta's suspicious now, too. What the heck is with all these suspicious people? Okay, Aga hams up the railway bridge looking shaken. She got into some sort of argument with Arek and that Beta wanted something from her and asked Aga to meet her in the same spot. Aga did... Let's see, Aga was chaotic, acting so unstable as if she was Beta. The only thing I managed to make out of Aga's words was that she would probably start looking for an apartment in Ochota district because it takes her too long to commute every day from here. Beta's not answering anymore. Is Beta the one that's gone? It rained. Texted her, left her a voicemail, talked to Marta. Bus route 738. Okay. Midnight. Suddenly felt like rewatching Blow Up by Antonioni. Okay. There's another one. E. I'm gonna, let's see. E. Dig deep. What? E. Dig deeper. Huh. Dig deeper. Okay, we have something. Dig deeper. What do you mean, dig deeper? Let's see. Customers who don't pay on time, still no money for the scans. Masik doesn't pick up the phone, but Itza says he's solid. She's done business with him many times. He always paid on time. Janos changed his... I think I saw the guy from the subway and the bus. Okay, stalker guy. Quibel guy's definitely not German anymore. He's definitely a Jew, but they won't be around for long. What is up with Janos? Mrs. Quibel is a real pain in the butt now. She won't even allow Mr. Janos to pee without her permission. What? It's true that there must be order, and if something needs to be done in our housing estate, it will be done. Okay. Accountant called. Is my PESEL number entered in the registry of businesses? She said they are crossing out whoever doesn't have it registered. I was getting ready to go to the district office when I realized I changed my business address after my parents died. This means I did it in 2015, which is later than 2011, the magical date after which it is impossible to change anything without giving the PESEL number. So I don't have to visit the DO, and I'm free to go to the book fair as planned. Gasoline is 5 PLN per liter. What a shocker. Met some friends at the book fair. Had no money to spend, but some photo albums, wrote them down. Maybe I'll buy them as soon as some cash flows in. At the Motil Siskau book distributor stall, I met Yoasia. Donio showed up, and it was a sad view. Can't even remember the last time I saw him really sober. He's still this likable creature. But hobo style. Looks as if he slept under the bridge. 10 or 15 years ago, his hobo style had its charm. Now it's just gross. Kakalivska called. She'll be in Warsaw next weekend. She wanted to meet. Itza was an evil woman and that she had bullied her. I asked why she would keep silent all this time. She'd always praised Itza, emphasizing how much she had learned from her. Kakalevska said she couldn't tell me how it really was back then. They would see each other daily, so Itza would hex her if she heard her speak the truth. 2018 Central Europe. A woman with higher education uttered these words. Hex her. The curtain falls. This is really sad. I had no idea she's lost it. Although I remember the girls from the publishing house mentioned something strange was going on with her. Something strange is going on with, like, everybody here. What the heck? Okay. She armed her sliminess with overgrown self-confidence lined with anxiety. Let's see. Okay. Uh-huh. Family obligations. She swallowed it. Yep. Family obligations. Beta still doesn't return my calls. I'm starting to worry about her. I asked Aga about her, but she said she didn't know anything. So, what's going on? Did I write down that last one? 2811. I did. Okay. Let's see. Dorota dropped by. We drank wine at 1 a.m. That's a bad idea. Don't drink wine at 1 a.m. Parents died and then grandma died 3 months apart, desperately trying to run away from it all. Itza kept yelling at me in the toilet. Some club that if she were to lose her best friend, she'd rather lose her trying to save her than doing nothing, and I kept pushing her away. Left the company, my life turned upside down. Dorota's eyes got bigger and bigger, and now I'm wondering if this whole catharsis wasn't my attempt to get this mess in order. On one hand, I feel like I got my crap together and came to terms with some stuff, but on the other hand, I cannot fill all the empty spaces. Okay, went to see Marta, went by bus, hydrating the whole way. It's chilly. Marta and Marek aren't done with furnishing the house yet. They sleep in the living room. The kitchen and bathroom downstairs are 100% ready. They're going to paint upstairs in 2 months. Marta lost a contract. Marek is waiting for someone to pay him. Oh boy. Panchka Street. I was right. They're neighbors, the same Miesia I remember from my childhood. Hey! Pure concentrated emotions and information. The kind you apply no more than 2 drops a day, and in case of overdose, you get stomach pumping and a lobotomy just in case. So she didn't recognize me at first, but when I introduced myself and told her I remembered her, she seemed really pleased. She invited me over, introduced me to her kids, grandkids. The moment I saw her son, I was struck dumb. I could see my dad in his posture and movements, although this man was much taller. Then Miesia offered me tea and cake, and she wouldn't take no for an answer, although I was full after lunch at Marta's. I finally managed to show Miesia the letter. She spilled the beans. She said after the accident, the one that sent Mr. Engineer to prison, she was very worried because the missus would pay her really well, but now that Mr. Engineer was in prison, there was no more work for her, and she was hoping that once Mr. Engineer got out, things would be as they used to, and they were in a sense, but actually they weren't as they used to be. This whole accident wasn't Mr. Engineer's fault because if somebody is strolling down the road after dark, they should look out for cars. And Mr. Engineer would drink a shot from time to time, but he definitely wasn't drunk. Cross my heart and hope to die. Didn't even have to ask her anything. She served me all the answers on her tray, singing praises of Mr. Engineer from time to time, saying what a terrific man he was. God rest his soul. Amen. She will visit his grave on Sunday. Okay. Nothing seemed to add up. So there was no trip to Libya? They had been lying to me the whole time. I need to talk to my Uncle Yarek again. But how on earth was Grandpa driving a car if they didn't have one? I'm not even sure he had a driver's license. My dad would drive him everywhere in our Fiat 125P. When I came home late in the evening, Aga showed me a selfie Beta posted on Facebook. In the post, she wrote she was at her mother's house. Bare nails again. No more of this eye bleeding, pink polish. She was wearing this top she said she ruined with bleach. Aha! This is an old photo. I watch enough true crime. This is not a recent photo. This is a prior to the incident photo. Beta's dead. Calling it now. Beta is dead. Aha. Beta's dead. I'll tell you that now for nothing. Beta is dead and Aga and Arek are behind it. That's my guess right now. It wasn't locked. Why is Beta's room not locked? Hey. Continued with the story of her twin brothers. They parted ways. It was quite okay at first. But then martial law was declared. They stopped talking to each other. It was like that for years. And then something started to change. And then the one that left on the left started to drift to the right. And the one on the right started to drift to the left. And when their mother died, they were both at the midpoint at the time. So they were emotionally reunited over her grave. But it wasn't for long. They kept drifting the opposite directions. And today, the one that used to be in the Communist Party votes for the Conservatives' PIS party. And the one who used to attend masses for the fatherland at St. Stanislaus Kostka Church wants to join the leftist Razem party. They stopped talking to each other again after the 2007 elections. Why? Now I know why Danuzia doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. You missed it! I know who's dead and who killed them! Just from reading this. I still don't know any passwords. I also found dig deeper. So we're definitely doing a lot of digging, and Beta is dead. The one roommate that never stopped talking is dead, and the other roommate and her cousin's cousin, who assaulted Beta once in the past, is probably behind. They're probably behind it, because, yeah, Aga is definitely the one running Beta's digital footprint, because they posted a picture saying, "Oh, look what just happened," and it's not what just happened. This is an old picture from before she had her nails done and her shirt ruined. Ugh. Okay. Oh, goodness. My leg's falling asleep. I need you to move your arm. Thank you. Ugh. Let's see. Car pulls up. Arek brought Aga something from her parents. Okay. Cell phones, computers, and passwords and how they're hard to remember. Turned out Aga and I have a similar system in which starting letters are the key. The major difference is that I use longer texts I know by heart or even my own notes as a source text, whereas Aga comes up with random combinations of facts about her family and friends, known only to her. So following her system, my phrase could be Dad's birthday is day, day, month, month. Grandpa died when he was XX. Aga is from Kavovska. Kavovska. Oh, Kasovska. Thank you. I can read. Kosovska, and Beta is from X. We couldn't recall the name of Beta's village, and of course, Aga's system is even better because this way the password contains both upper and lowercase letters, digits, and punctuation marks with no spaces. I told them the story of Dorota and the hoax was sending emails from her account on her phone. Arik kept on giggling and winking at Aga, saying it's good to know such things happen, but he sounded like he wasn't aware that a stolen phone can be easily blocked remotely, and it can be checked where it was used. Anyway, when I told him about a guy who was convicted and found guilty of setting his house on fire and killing his family based on mobile phone forensics, Arek's face twitched slightly. Oh yeah, Arek is definitely behind Beta being gone. It's a good example showing there's something wrong with him. At first glance, he seems like a bright guy, but he has huge gaps in knowledge and has problems connecting the dots. When you point a finger to show him something, he gets it, but without the finger, he is lost. I'm pretty sure he must have done some things. Maybe he stole some phone and that's why his face fell when I told the story. Yeah. Okay, so we have some clues here, but this doesn't really tell us anything. Um, okay, but that does tell me day, dot, month. But like, how do we know what these passwords are? But that does tell me day, month. So it would be 12.05 is part of it. So that's part of it.
0.78, right?
No, it doesn't say anything about the year. Huh. Let's see if it's Ava 12.05. Nope. Okay. But yeah, Arik definitely is responsible for Beta being gone. Oh, look, another one. This one is 34:15. And I think this is just going to be the boring session where we go through all of this. So we're almost done. One of the neighbors is drilling, pneumatic drill breaking concrete. Full house still shaking when you come back. Got an email from Beta. It's got a picture. I almost missed it because she usually sends messages from her Interia account. This time she used the O2 account and I didn't even recognize it was from her. The message was full of spelling mistakes. I know she's always written chaotically, but I can't remember her doing so many typos. Beta asked me about the flower in the photo, but I couldn't recognize it at first, so I downloaded the photo. I helped producing the book after all, so its turn to help me. Yellow alfalfa. So that's this. This is yellow alfalfa, which explains those weird seed thingies. So that's what this picture is. Young tits have flown out of the birdhouse. Mrs. Meow came home unusually excited and was holding a bird. Uh-huh. Looks okay. Hope it stays that way. Another chick just sitting on the concrete. Okay, then. Either moved somewhere or else one of the neighbor's cats found them. Yeah, that's lovely. Let's see. Didn't see the parents bringing food to the birdhouse. It's empty now. Photos came out dark. I think I'll have to send the camera in for service because it looks like it keeps underexposing the pictures. Lightroom set to auto mode. Removed to stop again. I still don't feel ready to start taking photos with Dad's camera. Okay. It's because I've always done that. He would use mine. I would use his. Afternoon, I went to see Uncle Yarek. He's much older. Stressful as usual. Took 2 minutes to open column of locks on the door to let me in. Okay, he told mom that once he dies, she would have to unscrew the oven because there are some gold rings hidden behind it. A lady called Yola lives with him again. It must be like the third time. The relationship's always been a mystery. The house is clean. Yola's been very thorough, I'll give her that, but a faint smell of urine and old age lingers in there. Uh-huh. Last place I know where tea is served to guests in thin tea glasses put inside metal glass holders. I also had a delicious cake Yola had baked. Told them about the photos found in the garage, the letters, the conversation I had with Miesia. Uncle Yarek suddenly felt worse and grew even older in a single moment. Yola offered him some meds, but he wouldn't take them. When he finally got hold of himself, he said Grandpa killed someone in a drunk driving accident. Aha, forced at night, in the rain, down a winding road. Someone's walking down the side of the road. He probably had been put on probation if he had not drank that night, but he had over 1 per mil of alcohol in his 1 per mil? Per meal? I don't know what a per meal is in his blood, which I'm guessing that's how they measure the blood alcohol level. Family decided they wouldn't tell me about it. The plan worked until today, but Grandpa didn't even have a car. No, he didn't. He was driving your dad's Fiat 125p. Okay then. Yola almost shouted at me for upsetting Uncle. Okay, I must have looked like a stray dog or something because she immediately started apologizing and gave me some more cake to go. Grandma must have thrown away all Grandpa's letters from prison so that I would never see them. She knew she wouldn't be there for long, but she had time to put all those papers in order. She even changed the locks because she wasn't sure all spare keys she had once given to her friends were returned to her. If she had time to manage such petty stuff, she must have had time to manage the letters. Both Uncle Yarek and Yola were acting strange when Uncle was telling this story because, okay, there is something going on. He's lying. Yola knows something, so Yola's suspicious. Oh, it's the end of my home and cat heaven. Mrs. Meow's yowling woke me up early. She was lying there, unable to get up. Her hind legs were Oh no! Oh no! What? No, what happened to the kitty? What happened? A thrombus? Oh, poor baby. Oh no. Poor kitty. Oh, that's so sad. Okay, looking for my passport to check if it's still valid. There's the creep again. Okay. Huh. Uh-huh, some ex-security service officer or an ex-cop. Moved the diary from the USB stick to the PC, and I tidied up the mess in the photos. I even moved something back onto the stick, but then Itza called, and once we were done, I decided it wasn't worth the hassle. 2 days I've been trying to remember who had played the guitar whose neck hangs on the wall in Beta's bedroom. The neck wasn't broken on stage, as it would sometimes happen in the Western countries, because Polish musicians couldn't afford breaking their guitars. Dad was taking photos during some big bit concert, and after it was over, the guitar was standing there propped against the wall, and a pile of sloppily arranged benches came crashing down on it. Okay, the name of the band or the guitar player, and it wasn't some random, it was a name that sounded loud and proud in Polish music industry for years. Turn a piece of history into a piece of wood. Jessica advises me not to buy a new laptop but a post-lease Lenovo because they're unbreakable. The ones I can afford aren't enough for me. Their resolutions are too low, so I guess in the end I will have to use the holiday money. Okay, now this is huge and I'm trembling. I've been overly emotional. No, oh my gosh, Mother Mary's, etc. But OMFG. Gonna ask Aga for a cigarette. Yola called me about 11 a.m. He's okay. She wants to meet up and tell me something important. Meeting up at Arcadia Shopping Mall. I'd rather meet somewhere near, but Yola had some errands to run there. Got bid earlier. Stopped by Intersport. Let's see. Coffee and a piece of cake each. Then Yola told me the details she wanted to share. It turns out it was Dad, not Grandpa, who was driving the car. They were both in the car and they'd both been drinking earlier that night. Grandpa was growing tired of his contractor trips. He was already past his first heart attack. But Dad had his whole career ahead of him. Oh, so Grandpa took the fall for Dad. But still, he claimed to have caused the accident even after he had been convicted. I thought you had the right to know, Yola said afterwards. So, okay. They were hidden from her intentionally. Why? I asked her if she knew Miesia's son looked a lot like my dad, and she started laughing. He's not the only one, dear. She said that 2 days before the heart attack that had killed him, Grandpa was caught in the act by Grandma with a 20-year-old. Like, where? In Zalizna? Oh, yes, your grandmother was so mad at him that she went to Warsaw, leaving him behind. But I was there at that time. Sorry, I didn't know. But I was there at the time. Okay, so Grandpa cheated with Miesia. So Dad killed somebody drinking. Mom's disliking going to by car to parties featuring alcohol because Dad, yes, he would have had a few shots on special occasions, get overly friendly and chatty sometimes, but that was all Mom's reacting almost hysterically to Dad having an accident shortly before my Matura exam. Then Mom's reluctance to buying a new car. On the other hand, I've always had a feeling Yola never liked my dad and was listening to her today. There's a hint of satisfaction in her voice. Joy exposing him before me to an extent that several times I was wondering if maybe she was making some stuff up just to make me feel even worse. To have her revenge for things I wasn't even aware of. Or maybe she enjoyed making me feel like crap just out of pure witchiness. Grandpa, Yola didn't know I was there at the time. For her, it was a story of adults, so I wasn't even in the picture. It makes me so sad to think that all my life I was sure it was my fault, all my fault. That Grandma got so mad because we went to the reservoir, although she specifically told us not to, and that Grandpa got mad at us too, and all this led to his heart attack. But really, he was well over 60 and he had a 20-year-old. Had another look at the photos. Well, he did look great. Slender, tall, handsome, his face framed with an impressive mane of gray hair. He looked like $1 million and had an aura of authority around him, but with a 20-year-old. That's pretty gross. Beta still doesn't answer the phone because she's dead. Grandma gave birth to Dad when she was 20. Grandpa was 8 years older than her, but it seems he was fond of 20-year-olds till the very end. Miesia seems to be an exception, though. She must have been around 30. Okay, so there's more. Let's see. 3 a.m. Arek has my grandpa's voice. He's Aga's age. Aga is from Kvasovka. That's within a stone's throw from Zalizna. Aga lives at my place because our common cousin, the one we used to visit, recommended her. Arek must be somewhere from around that area. He's not the only one, Yola said. Those memorable summer holidays in Zalizna were in July 1984. When exactly was Arek born? Okay, so Arek is about Aga's age, but how old is Arek? So maybe it's July 1984 is part of it. Oh, look, we have another running time, 27:48. News from Itza. Masiak went to Italy. Something happened. He's in the hospital now. They had to operate, got hold of his phone. His wife was pretty cut up about it, also required medical attention. Money is not important to them at the moment, which is understandable. Could really use that cash, but I get it. AdSense money. Okay, good. Meow. Oh boy. One of Itza's friends is looking for a house or an apartment to rent, preferably starting from August, and she likes my area. One of us forgot to lock the door, or someone was trying to force it open. I went to the post office and to buy some bread. When I came back, only the Gerda lock was still locked. The bottom lock was opened. Pietruca called. We failed to have a decent chat at the book fair. He was on his way to a meeting. Okay. Sikorki is getting divorced. Anka Bielavska is a grandma now. Probably not even 40 yet. Then we switch to books. Stream of words that came out of his mouth. I remember two things. A funny but spot-on remark about how the Booker Prize was the best thing that could happen to Tokarczuk, because this year there will be no Nobel Prize, so she won't get it. And two, he'd recently read a novel, I forgot the title, in which the protagonist, over a dozen years older than us, named the writers and philosophers who influenced him, and Petruka literally knew one name from the list. Now I'm wondering, if I were to make an honest list of writers who influenced me 30 years ago, would it be as abstract to Zoomers as this man's list was to Petruka? Honest meaning without putting safe bets that stayed with me on the bookshelf and pretending I knew them all along. As usual, we agreed to meet as soon as all this crap quiets down. Okay. Smelled pot smoke coming from one of the houses again. Must have been a good party. Okay. Every nightmare drains energy. Woke up soaked in sweat. Mrs. Meow's terrible wailing woke me up, just like it did Tuesday. I needed a moment to realize it was just a bad dream. That's sad. Found Tiermon's diary, 1954. Page landed on Mrs. Nuna's panties. I needed to show it to Ava. How am I supposed to save money when a newsletter tells me to buy How I Stopped Loving Design for only $12.50? Okay, 2 weeks I can help with photo shoot. Studio's already booked. Don't know. Confronted Aga. Arek was born in April of 1985. Okay. Arek, born in April 1985. Arek is definitely a relative. Okay, I'm shaken up again. I remember Aga mentioning something about the story of his life, but today she told me more when it turned out Arek's mother was pregnant. Her family kicked her out of the house. After a few years, she killed herself. Her parents took Arek in, but actually, he bounced around from one family member to another. A bastard, an orphan, an unwanted child. For all that he has been through, he seems to have turned out quite okay. I asked Aga if she knew anything about Beta. She wouldn't answer my calls, and after her mom called me, I couldn't make anything of it. Aga said she knew nothing. Oh, and she's moving out. Okay, but small disasters can sometimes solve problems. My passport is valid until May 22, so I'm good. Aga was talking to Eric on the phone. She was asking questions about you. Yeah. Running out of words. It's unbelievable. Zukovsky could be such a slumbag. Talked to Itza. She told me about the comic book she mentioned earlier. Some guy drew it all himself, based on his grandfather's memoirs or something. Pavel decided to cash out to have it printed. Zukovsky was supposed to help with printing and promotion. Everything was ready to go, just some finishing touches left. And then Zukovsky backed out. He's not going to be part of the project. He wouldn't say why. And the girls from the publishing house told Itza in great secret what it was about. Apparently, the comic book is trash because it features piles of dead bodies, ruins with the smell of failure, while everyone knows the Warsaw Uprising was glorious and heroic. Recently, Zukovsky won a grant from the Ministry of Culture and National Heritage, and he's supposed to help them publishing some books presenting the correct view of history. Uh-huh. Yeah, bad press. Yep, the same guy who would print leaflets and posters for the Freedom Union 20 years ago. A true Democrat, my butt. Actually called Itza to ask about her friend who was interested in renting a room. I ended up telling her too much. She said she would handle my affairs if necessary. I don't know what to say. I don't deserve a friend like Itza. Huge rainstorm came. Forgot to check the windows in Beta's bedroom. There was some water on the windowsill. It must have rained sideways because the windows were in airing position. Her stuff is still there. I don't know if she plans on living here or what. Still no signs of life from her. I probably won't be living here if it weren't for Mrs. Meow. When Mom died, I moved to my parents' house because I didn't want to force that cat used to spending her days outside to live in a bed sit on the 6th floor, but it was supposed to be temporary. It'll be 3 years in the fall. So much for the temporality of the solution. The rest of the day was cloudy and stormy. I swallowed Weecha's book in one evening. Okay. Still valid now. Graphics and design, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Splitting headache. Managed to get out of bed. Maybe I'll have a bike ride in the afternoon. I told Aga when she asked me if I was going to be home the whole day. There was a loud scene around noon at the neighbors living on the other side of the ditch. They somehow kept to themselves. Okay. Yeah, this is the last day that we read already. So. Uh-huh. Okay. So now we have gone through everything, and that is all that we have. So we're going to leave it on a cliffhanger right now and see if we can figure anything out, and we will see you next week and see if we have any solutions for you. If not, I will post something different. Thanks, guys. Bye.